the second time I'm going to be recording this. I sat here for 20 minutes and talked about the whole story, and now I'm going to do it again. Okay, technical difficulties. Alright, I'll be able to do it better this time. It's okay. What's going on, YouTube? I'm not going to do that anymore because I'll probably blow your eardrums out. Can you hear me? Are you deaf already? I don't know. Alright, well, welcome to it. I hope you're awake now. I'm going to tell you the story about why I haven't recorded for 4 or 5 months and how you haven't seen anything and why you haven't seen anything. Oh, I had a very scary scenario happen to me and I ended up in the hospital. I'm going to tell you guys about the story and everything that happened and the health complications that I now have from this experience and why I haven't ridden for that long either. So stick through it all. Don't try to skip around and get to the right point or whatever, because the whole thing's the point. You got to stay through it all. Listen to every second of it. Listen to it. Sorry, I'm a little energetic right now. Listen to every second of it so you know what's going on. You stick with it through me, through the story. You know what I mean? All right. So I was super sick. I was coughing a whole bunch, and I was coughing up some stuff, and this is kind of a whole TMI video, but deal with it. So I was coughing up a whole bunch of stuff, and I thought I was going to get over it, and I didn't get over it. So there's one day I was like coughing up a bunch of stuff, and I was like, all right, time to go to the urgent care. So I went to the urgent care. The guy took an x-ray on my chest, came out with a picture of it. By the way, I'm going to talk pretty fast so we can get this through because it's a pretty long story. And showed me the x-ray. There's a ball inside of my chest, 4 inches by 4 inches wide. He's like, bro. He didn't say bro. But you got to go to the hospital right now. Don't stop anywhere. Go straight there. That's all he told me. And he showed me the little ball. He's like, I can't ignore that. So I took the little x-ray and took off. And luckily my mom drove me to the hospital because I was like dying. So then we booked it to the hospital. I thought I was going to die. I had a 4 inch by 4 inch ball inside of my lung that I thought could explode at any point, and it might have actually. It could have exploded. Oh yeah. They said could have exploded. Blah 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 blah. Coulda woulda. Coulda woulda. How much wood? Coulda woodchuck wood. If a woodchuck wood. I've never said that before properly. Wow, I'm on another one right now. All right, so we're on the way to the hospital. I thought I was gonna die, so I wouldn't breathe too hard because I thought this big ball of pus inside my chest was gonna explode and cause me to suffocate and die right in front of my mom. But I'm going to be real with you guys. Throughout this whole video, I was crying nonstop. I thought I was going to die. This was the scariest moment of my life so far. I say so far because it gets even scarier. So then we get to the hospital, and I have to sit in the waiting room for a while, so I'm out there crying, praying with my mom to God, and I talked to like a reverend came up and spoke with us, and there was 4 of us, and we prayed to God, which is great because God always says if there's 2 or more people in the court, 2 or more people praying for me, then I am there, and there was 4 of us, so it was pretty great. And went inside. I still thought I was going to die. It was still super scary. And so they started treating me for the lung abscess, and they diagnosed me with pneumonia right off the bat. They started giving me antibacterials through my mouth, which are pill form, and I started throwing up nonstop for 13 hours straight, and it wouldn't stop at all. And I'm not saying like I threw up for like 20 minutes and I threw up again, after stopping for a little bit. No, I didn't stop. Nonstop nausea, nonstop throwing up in the puke bags in front of people there's like 4 or 5 people in this room that they shoved me in, and I'm just throwing up nonstop. And this will correlate later on. I'm not supposed to be in a room with 4 or 5 people at this moment in time, but they didn't know that yet. So after I was in this room full of like 5 people, and I was throwing up nonstop, they decided to put me upstairs in this separate room with this old dude, and I'm pretty sure he was peeing everywhere because it smelled like pee really bad in that wing of the hospital. By the way, I'm in Loma Linda Hospital, so this is supposed to be like a pretty substantially good hospital, supposedly. So I'm sitting in this room, and they got me hooked up and to all sorts of IVs and stuff, and I'm just throwing up non-stop. I got my IV stand next to me, and I'm throwing up in the toilet. Nothing I did would stop it. And they gave me 7 different types of anti-nausea medicine, 5 through my IV, 1 in my arm, and I think 1 is a pill, and none of them worked whatsoever. I kept throwing up non-stop. So I was there for about 16 hours or maybe 12, somewhere around there. But I was throwing up straight for 13 hours, and I was talking about being at the hospital for that long because I was there about an hour before I started throwing up from that medicine they gave me. So I'm sitting in this room upstairs with this old guy, and I'm still puking. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. It's 7:30 in the morning, and I feel like garbage. I've been awake all day, and I feel like I'm gonna die. I'm going home. So I literally left. And as I left, the doctor called me and was like, dude, this thing might explode in your lung. It's really bad. You might get pneumonia. We have to suck it out of your chest. And I'm like, nope, I don't really care. So it was really bad. I shouldn't have. I mean, it didn't really matter going forward, to be honest with you guys, but then I probably shouldn't have done that. It was by the grace of God that it didn't explode. So I went home, ate one of my mom's bean and cheese burritos, and then went back. I'm not making it up, I promise. And we went back, and when we went back, they thought all of a sudden that I had tuberculosis. So they shoved me in this room with all like a closed door that like gets sealed, and then there's no bathroom, so I had to use a plastic toilet and a gallon jug to do my business in. And they had all sorts of IVs hooked up to me, all the cables hooked up to me, or the heart rate, blah, 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 blah. The little beep, beep, beep thing going on, and then it goes beep when you die. Like, yeah, that thing was there.
Bro, look at me out there living. I'm just doing it by myself. Nobody's help. Yeet. No, I'm just kidding. Jesus did that. Jesus did all that. He's like, and another one. And another one.
So then at that point, my IVs started to fail in my arm, and I had about 5 different ones fail while I was there. You can look up the images. It's absolutely horrible. Because, like, your arm swells up, it gets all red, it feels like somebody's stabbing you in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. It's not even the good in and out. You don't get a burger from it. It just keeps stabbing you, and it hurts really bad, and I scream and yell. I'm like, ow! It hurts! Nobody would come pick it out at one point. It took 30 minutes for a nurse to show up to take it out of me. And she thought I was freaking out because it was, like, needles and stuff, but I'm like, just take the dang thing out of me. She's like, you gotta calm down. I'm like, I am calm. Take the needle out of my arm. It hurts. And then when she went to put the new needle in my arm, she thought I was freaking out. I'm like, no, it's fine, just do it. She's like, I didn't think she understood the pain that I felt from it. It was absolutely insane. You can look it up. It's awful. Comment down below if you ever had that happen to you, because I want to feel like I'm not the only one. So then I got transferred upstairs after 2 days of sitting in this room, doing my business in the plastic toilets, etc., and all these tubes hooked up to me and the IVs failing. And they put me in this nice room. It was super nice. It was like an upgraded hotel room. It's like I got a 55-inch TV and all of this other stuff going on and a huge view outside the window. I was like 14 stories up or whatever. It was nice. It was great in there. Well, a whole lot better than down there.
I'm not really watching TV. I'm looking at that mountain, imagining riding my dirt bike across it.
And so then the people kept coming in with suits on and M95 masks and the whole like face shield in front of them. And it's like a ventilated room to where like it gets like closed off. You go into a separate room and then you go into my room. I sat up there for like 5 days straight and IVs failing, etc. Like I said, I've had about 5 IVs fail while I was there, and they're doing all kinds of tests on me. They've taken like so much blood from me, it's ridiculous. They just come in, they poke me, they take it, and then they were having me like cough into a little cup, and they sent my sputum off to go get it tested to see whether or not I have tuberculosis. It was a whole thing. So about 5 days later, the girl comes back in. Well, the nurse lady came in. I forgot her name, but I'm going to put it right here. She was awesome. Thank you so much for all the help that you did. You're such a good nurse. Like, you're the best nurse I've ever experienced in my life. And you're probably way up there, honestly. Like, you're probably number one. This girl was awesome. And so she came in and she was like, "You're free!" And like, she was with her, she took her mask off and she was saying that to me. And I was like, "Wow, you're really pretty without your mask on." Not that like she's pretty, she's not pretty with the mask on. You know what I mean? So she came in, she told me I didn't have tuberculosis and I could take off and go home. And then the head lady came in and she was like, "Hey, if this doesn't heal up," after she said a whole bunch of other stuff, "you have cancer." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Oh, oh, okay. And the O's didn't kick in until after I had left, and I was like, did that lady just say that? Because I was so delusional. I sat in this bed for like literally 5 days straight, and I lost 20 pounds, and I couldn't breathe very well because of the lung abscess that was still in my lung, like a big old ball, 4 inches by 4 inches wide. It was shrinking down from all the antibacterial medicine that they were giving me through my IVs. And so I took off. My mom picked me up. I was having a hard time just walking to the car, feeling lightheaded, feeling awful. Went home. A day later, they contacted me and said, hey, by the way, you're not allowed to leave your house anymore. One of the tests came back positive. If you were still at the hospital, we would keep you locked down in a room right now. I was like, oh, okay, so I might have cancer and I'm supposed to be in the hospital still. This makes all kinds of sense. So at that point in time, I didn't really calibrate the whole cancer thing yet. So then after I got off the phone, there was no way for me to contact them back. I didn't have a phone number or anything, so I just sent them a message through my chart or whatever, and they didn't reply for 5 days. So I thought I had cancer, lung cancer, and I was going to die for 5 days. Every second of every day I was praying to God, putting my hands up, worshiping the worship music. I did everything I could to try to get in contact with God. I'm like, I'm having a hard time here. This is freaking me out. I'm going to die, and I'm scared. And on the 5th day, I looked outside, and I was just looking at the sun and looking at the tree in our backyard, which just got cut down, by the way. Super random. But, and I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, this overwhelming, indescribable peace came over me. And it was like I was trusting God 95%. I knew there was a heaven, but I didn't know I was going to go to it. I mean, Jesus said that you only need the faith. You only need faith the size of a mustard seed to get into heaven. And he was thinking about the smallest thing he could possibly think of on earth to resemble, the faith that you need to get into heaven. So, all that was great, but I didn't really, like I said, trust it. I was 95% trusting him. And then all of a sudden, when that overwhelming, indescribable peace came over me, it's I know I'm going to get into heaven. I know it's going to be lit. I know I'm going to be there for eternity, and it's going to be freaking rad. I want all of you to join, by the way. All you need to do is accept Jesus Christ into your heart, and I'll talk about that later on down the line and give you much more detailed information. Much, much more detailed information. This overwhelming, indescribable peace came over me. I'm I'm okay with dying. I'm okay with it. It's going to be all right. And I told my mom, the same thing. I was like, hey, it's okay if I die. I'm going to go to heaven. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about me. 3 hours after I said that to her, they messaged me and said that I didn't have cancer and I wasn't going to have cancer. The lung abscess wasn't going to turn into cancer. So this is the greatest news I've had yet. I was like, yay, awesome. Thank you for letting me know finally. So now I'm still on isolation, on lockdown, in my house, quarantine, whatever you want to say, all 3 different words. I was sitting there and I had a doctor's appointment. I talked to the girl, and she said that I could go back to work, but I have to wear a mask when I go inside the restaurants because I do DoorDash for a living. And when I go through the drive-thrus, I don't have to wear a mask, and I can go back to work. I'm sick because this has been 3 weeks of me not working, and that's no bueno because I rely on my income every week. I'm going to get into a better spot down the line, obviously, but right now I'm in a tight spot. I'm relying on my income every week. So 3 weeks of no work sucked. Then a day later, because I didn't trust what she said, she contacted me and said, oh, sorry, you're not supposed to go anywhere, actually. I'm like, oh, okay, good, because I wasn't going to try to kill anybody anyways. Because if I had tuberculosis, which they still think I have, then I didn't want to give it to anybody. Then another 3 weeks goes by, the doctor told me again that I can be released and I can go into work and talk to people and everything's fine. So I went to my uncle's house, talked to them, hung out with them, came home, and then they told me again that I have tuberculosis and that I need to stay at my house and not go anywhere. I'm like, this is 3 times now. One at the hospital, you let me go and then locked me down. The girl let me go and locked me down. Then this guy let me go and locked me down. And then another month and a half goes by, and they just keep telling me they're going to have answers every week. So they sent off this sputum. It goes to San Bernardino County tuberculosis control, and they test it there. And then they sent it to the state of California to get it tested there for some reason, when they could have tested it at San Bernardino County, which we figured out down the line. And so it gets sent up there, and this is a 3-month span of me getting into the hospital after getting sick and me being released. And every week they're telling me they're going to have answers and be able to release me for 3 months straight, basically. I think it was actually 4 times total that they released me and unreleased me. But on the 4th time, he's like, hey, You don't have tuberculosis. You have a dirt disease called Mycobacterial avium complex. And basically it's a dirt disease that resembles tuberculosis and is in the same family as tuberculosis. So when you get tested for it, it pops up if you have it, and you could have it and not know that you have it. So you watching right now could have this disease and not even know it until way down the line when you get tested for tuberculosis one day, and then they figure out you have it. And when you're older, it could be a much deadly disease. But right now, luckily, I don't show any symptoms of it. I'm not losing weight, I'm not coughing, and I feel great, and I'm getting back to working out and everything like that. So it's great. I'm feeling great, and I'm not getting treated for it yet. They said they might treat me for it, but if I get treated for it, it's going to be 12 months of me throwing up nonstop from the medication, and it's going to suck really, really bad. And if I don't have any symptoms of it right now, then I don't really need to get treated for it. But I'm just going to get treated for it down the line when they figure out the whole throwing up thing, because, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. So right now I'm feeling great. My lung still has a hole in it, and it's healed up to a scar now. So that can get infected down the line, and it's not the best thing, because like I basically lost a few filters per se, if you want to use simple words. So simple motorcycle knowledge, I lost a few filters in my lung.
They are not 100% sure on what caused the lung abscess in the beginning, but they think it's a meat stick that I choked on.
And now I'm getting back to normal, and I would love to get back out and get riding again, but like I said, I was stuck in quarantine for 3 months, and I relied on my weekly income, which I didn't get at all. So every one of my credit card bills is way past due. Every one of my car payment and my motorcycle payment is past due. I can't even afford my motorcycle insurance right now. I need to register my motorcycle, so there's no way for me to ride my motorcycle unless I had $550 right now to spend on that, when I have my car payment due and all of my other credit card bills due, and my credit score has gone to complete crap. It was in a pretty decent spot, and now it's like in the 400s, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. I was not planning for this. They didn't give me any sort of unemployment. They didn't give me any sort of support whatsoever. And now I'm just sitting here like waiting to get a little bit of money in. Like I'm working nonstop. I'm trying to catch up on all these bills, but I just don't have enough to ride right now, guys, and it's super depressing, and it sucks, and it's emotional, because haven't ridden my bike in 4 to 5 months, and it's just sitting in my garage all pretty, just going, why don't you ride me anymore? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't afford it right now. It wasn't my fault. So yeah, if you guys want to help me out, I think I might make me a GoFundMe. If it's not a GoFundMe, my Cash App is down below in the link in the description, and the link in the comment section, the first one.
Hey, buy my merch, buy my t-shirt.
I would appreciate it much. So even if it's just $1, guys, like if you guys all pitched in $1, I'd be able to ride. In total, I have like 180,000 followers. So if you all gave me $1, I could buy a house. But we're not going to get into the specifics of that, because I don't ask for handouts. This is just a really scary, unexpected experience, but I am so glad that God healed me. He healed me from tuberculosis, he healed me from pneumonia, he healed me from possible cancer, and he's got me right now. He taught me something I never thought I could know. Like, I never thought this information existed. Like, the comfort and the overwhelming, indescribable peace that I have about dying now, and it's just going to continue for the rest of my life. It's absolutely amazing. I'm almost glad that this happened, because here's the thing, the body dies, but the soul lasts forever, and the soul is going to last for eternity. So down here on earth, if you get a little beat up, it's okay, because you're getting your soul is getting, stronger and better and more peaceful. So this whole experience, like, I almost appreciate, because I was able to trust God 100% now, 110%. I'm able to go to heaven. Like, everything's great. I wasn't able to go to heaven because of this, but you know what I mean. Like, I am just so happy now, and I have such a different perspective on life from almost dying several times. I am so excited to get back on my bike and show you guys the plans that I have for the future and get back to grinding. Right now, I'm just working nonstop, trying to catch up on all my bills, and hopefully soon I'll be able to ride my bike and make another video for you guys. But until then, thank you for everybody everybody that messaged me during it. Thank you for everybody that was worried about me during it. And thank you for all of the support that I've had during this whole experience. It's been absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, and by the way, thank you for the people who sent me some money to help out with my dog, Daisy, who passed away. Rest in peace. She was such a great dog. We had to put her down, and I couldn't afford it because of this situation, and a lot of people helped me out, and I really appreciate you guys for helping me out. We got almost half the bill paid just from you guys for euthanasia. It wasn't like she was just old and hurting. Like, she had a tumor on her heart, and she was all swelled up everywhere. She couldn't walk around anymore, and yeah, it was the time, and we knew that day for sure it was the time, because she was having some other issues that appeared that day that showed that she needed to be put down big time. So really appreciate every single one of you guys for supporting. Like, immensely appreciate you guys. Like, you guys are the best. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your messages. Thank you for all your support. Until I get enough money to ride again, I love you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you next time. Yay! I'll do a louder one. Ready? Yay!